it's time for the magic to happen. So we did all of the poles. You can see the checkerboard pattern. We've done all of the poles. So what we're going to do now, I said in the first place that our blue box is going to be how I'd like to show you in a way that I think it is easy to understand. And then in the gold box, I'll do birthday plaid in how I stitch it. So for in this blue box, in a way that I think it's easy to understand, what we're going to do next is we're going to rotate our canvas this way, because now we committed to poles going this way, and we're still going to stitch our poles going this way. Let me put this in our stand. So how we did our column of 4, our column of 8, our column of 1, column of 4, column of 8, column of 1, let's go ahead and repeat that. When we rotated our canvas 90 degrees, our stitches switched from being up and to the right to up and to the left. So we want to make sure that we keep following that. And we're going to do our 4 columns, and then 8 columns, and then 1 column. So this, we're going to have to switch to up and to the left just to copy these stitches. Again, the blue box is how I think it's easy to understand, and then our gold box will show you how I actually stitch birthday plaid. But again, just that 4, 8, and 1, we're going to keep doing our columns to represent April 8th and our just for fun 1 line of yellow. First column done. Now we're starting in our second column. Back at this top. When I fill in the same color in the like colors in the like colors areas, you're going to see a solid form. And then when we move into this dark green, that checkerboard pattern really comes to life. So exciting. If you ever wanted to stitch a gingham, you could just grab 2 colors and make your columns even, 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 7 and 7. And then you're in between, instead of being a 3rd shade of whatever color you chose, would be this checkerboard color. Okay, we've reached our bottom of our second column. Back to the top for our 3rd column, 3rd of 4 for April 8th. All right, last stitch of our 4. So we've done 4 columns this way to represent our April. And we had said we're doing 4 of spring, 8 of holly. So next up is that 8 of holly. All right, last stitch of our dark green. Just like when we were going the other way, we've done 4 columns of the light green and now 8 columns of the dark green. And you can really see how we're filling in that checkerboard. It makes a very pretty solid here. And this checkerboard here. Checkerboard in our single stripe. So put this stitch in, and then we're going to go back to our note card. Our note card says 4 spring, 8 holly. So next is 1 creme brulee. All right, last stitch of our yellow going in. You're really starting to see the full plaid now. Let's take this out of the stand. So we have our plaid coming to life, and you can see how it exactly matches my background on this. Again, we have the note card here, 481, 481, 481. So what we would continue down this is doing our 4, our 8, our 1, all the way down the box, but you totally get the picture. So let's move on to how I actually travel birthday plaid. This is going to help you save some thread. There's no shame in this game. This is to get your brain thinking this way, but everyone thinks a little bit differently. So I'm going to show you how I actually travel it. It saves thread, and it requires a little more counting, but once you're in the zone, you're in the zone. Here I did 4 columns all the way down to really drive home the point that it is 4 and then it is 8 and then it is 1. But for the April, which is 4 on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run skip tint back and forth, but only make the column 4 wide. And this will have a little bit less thread on the back of my canvas. And it requires a little more counting to get started because you need to make sure you get 4 wide. But then once you're doing it, you can kind of zone out. We'll commit to the poles again. So this first one right here is a step. So I'll just go over to this first pole, and that's our second column in from the edge. So in my head I say 2, and then here in my head I say 1, since we're in that first column. And then we'll go down. So in my head I'm saying 1 because we're in this first column. Let me zoom in. So in my head I'm saying 1. And then we're going over to 2. We're in the second column. Next, we're going up to this one. So 3, because this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. And finally, 4. All right, coming down. Okay, so since this is the 4th column and April is the month that I want, I don't want to go any further than this. So I'm pretending this is my border. And I'm going down to 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm running a skip tint, which is keeping that checkerboard pattern. Went down, now we'll go back up. And 4. So you would do that all the way down. Pretend I have that 4, 8, 1 all the way across. And then when it comes time to do your 4 across here, if you're more comfortable doing it this way, do it this way. But here's just another way that you can think about doing it. You can leave your canvas in your stand exactly how it is. And then you can start doing your skip tint going down 4. So since I'm in this first row, I'm going to say 1 in my head. And then now when I go down to here, this is the 3rd row because this is the first row. This is the 2nd row. We already have a stitch there. And now this is the 3rd row. So I'm going to say 3, 2, and 1. Remember, we're still working in skip tint, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I'm saying 4. So again, this is our imaginary border. I'm not going any further than this. I'll then come back right here because 1, 2, 3, 4 is as far as I want to go, and I'm going to continue my skip tint in this direction. This is just another way to travel birthday plaid, and what I would probably do is, like we did in the blue box, do all of my one direction and then fill in and do all of my other direction. But for the sake of time, I thought I would show you the skip tint variation, just in case this is how your brain works. So as I'm trying